film has a score of 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I can see why.
Oi, oi, oi! Welcome to Derp Derp
Oi.
Films Reviews.
Oi, oi.
I'm Derp Derp.
I'm Skeeter. It's really late, so I'm really tired.
Today we're reviewing the movie Heavy Trip, which we just finished watching. This is my second time viewing. His first time.
This is my first time seeing it.
And I guess
What?
I'm a metal fan, so this is my type of movie.
This is his jam.
First of all, like, subscribe, comment. We did reach our first like goal at 1,047.
Fuck you guys.
So starting Tuesday, we will start watching and reviewing One Piece, the first season.
God, all the season in one go?
No, just one.
It's one episode, got it.
No, one season for every 1,000 likes.
Yeah, but on Tuesday we're reviewing just one
5.
episode. 5?
Yeah. Cause it.
Fucking hate everyone.
What would you rather do? 62 weeks of it, or 9 weeks of it?
Wait, how long is season 1?
62 episodes. I looked it up.
It is?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Fucking Japan, you're on steroids. God
So would you rather do 9 weeks of it or 60 weeks of it?
I'm gonna plead the 5th. Yes, my God-given right.
And go with the 5.
No comment.
Or we can do all 60.
Yeah, all 60 in one go. This might take a while.
Just 5. We'll be reviewing the first 5 episodes Tuesday.
Okay. Anyways.
Let's get into the review.
Alright, so it's it's called Heavy Trip. And it's about a band, and they're in Finland. And they're in this small Finnish town. And they kind of go through all the characters. One's the singer.
We get introduced to Turo, who's the singer. He is also a janitor at an insane asylum.
Yep. And you get the
Jinky,
lead guitarist.
or lead guitarist, Latvonen.
I'm not saying his name. That's too
Lottie. Let's just call him Lottie.
Lottie.
Who is the lead guitarist, and he works at his dad's reindeer farm.
Where they farm reindeer by turning them into tulips.
And then
we got the bassist.
Pozzy.
Ponzi scheme.
Pozzy.
Ponzi.
Same
thing.
Who works in the library in the in the music section, and he happens to have the ability to recognize any song he's heard just by hearing like the beginning of the song.
Yep, but only metal.
And we see a scene where a little mom and a little girl come up and ask him for some Justin Bieber.
And he goes,
Yeah, I got Justin Bieber in the hand. I forgot the name of the band, but some very morbid name.
This sounds like Sunshine and Rainbows. And then we got the drummer. I don't remember remember his name.
Jinky.
Jinkies, and he's kind of he jumps first kind of person. He'll just dives into everything. And at the beginning, when they're playing in the band, he just randomly dies, and they're like, "Oh, he died again, eh? Okay."
And they
But
just pound on his chest.
yeah, he was choking on a sandwich.
And apparently he's been pronounced dead twice.
Yep. So they're kind of playing, and they're like, "Yeah, we've been doing this for 12 years, blah blah blah." And then the lead singer guy named
Turo.
Turo, he go, he's at work, and there's one of the he has to
Well, first,
clean the shit for one of the
yeah.
patients, and he says, "Oh, it's better to shit your pants than than
But-
be constipated."
But first, we also see his first gig, which is just him playing air singing to a group of people in the insane asylum.
Oh yeah, he gets a song and he's speaking into the mop.
Air wise, he isn't actually saying anything.
Yeah, but he's
And he
doing
has
great.
one fan.
Yep.
A grandma.
She's very excited.
Which we find out he has a thing for G-MILFs.
Yep, definitely does.
Because at one point he says, "We're making all this music for all the grandmas out there."
Just like Squizguard. All right. So then he's also informed before he cleans the guy's shit up that it's
It is
also
his
his birthday. So he has to go get flowers. So he goes to this local flower shop where there's this cute girl, and obviously he has a crush on her, and he's like, 2 flowers, please. And this other guy comes in,
Joni.
and he's just trying to flirt with her, and he totally ignores him, and he's like, "Oh, this Joni, he's a musician too." And this young guy's like, "What? Oh, I didn't even recognize you there. Oh, what kind of music are you into? Oh, whatever, I don't care. I was distracted by this beautiful woman, and we're gonna go on a date later, maybe, possibly." He's like assing her out, and so they both leave, and they start talking. Turo starts talking to him. He's like, "Hey, I'm into like heavy metal music," and he's just like, "I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna get laid and get pussy. I can tell by the way you look that you don't know how to do that. So I'm gonna go do that, and you can go play with your friends." And other musician. Oh, and then this is where we're introduced to the girl's dad, and he's like, "Hey, stay away from my
By the
daughter,
way, the girl's name is Mila or Mia.
Mia, with 2 eyes." Long dramatic pause.
I was waiting to see
because
if you.
she, editor, if you could just get a close up on me smiling like really creepily. Well, I suppose it's not creepily. It's more like I'm making a really bad pun and I know it. Anyways, because her name has 2 eyes in it, literally, but she also has 2 eyes in real life. That's the pun, damn it. Anyways, you can edit all that out if you want. Whatever, leave it in, make it more awkward.
But her dad is not in the cast list.
He's like, hey, stay away from her. That other guy is my future son-in-law, and like he pulls him over while he's biking or whatever. He's like, ha ha ha, I'm the evil dad, blah blah blah. Anyways, so he gets back and he's like, crap, we have to write a song. And then the bassist mentions something about someone mentioned. I think the drummer was like, hey man, we gotta go to get a gig or something like that. He's like, no, we can only start playing for people with our own music, no cover bands.
Which makes completely sense because not a lot of people like to listen to just cover music.
Yeah, and so they go. So the lead guitarist, he's like, all right, how about this one? And he does a riff on a thing, and the bassist is like, nope, someone else played it. And he does another one. He's like, nope, someone else played it. And he plays another one. He's like, nope, Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it. He plays like 5 different ones. Um,
Showing his skill and recognizing music just from a few seconds.
yeah. And then, so the lead guitarist goes, works for like the next day. He's working for his dad. You know, he
Start
puts
grinding up reindeer parts.
and he sticks a screwdriver in there, and he goes to change the song on the radio because it's fritzing out, and the deer
Going
carcass
from
gets stuck.
country to metal to country to metal.
And then then the reindeer carcass gets stuck in the machine, and he's like trying to pull it out, and it makes a certain sound. He's just like, "Oh shit, that's a sound!" So he calls him up. He's like, "This is our new sound. You know that? New sound you've been looking for? Well, listen to this."
Which then introduces us to their theme. Symphonic, post-apocalyptic, reindeer grinding, Christ abusing, extreme war, pagan, Fennoscandian metal.
Yep. Say that 5 times fast, please.
Which is just
Please.
a complete play on, because there's some very obscure and really weird metal genres out there.
I guess so. I don't know. This guy knows.
I should have worn a metal shirt just for this.
But you didn't.
I can change
You
it
can
one.
fix it in post. Fix it in post.
I can actually change it one.
I don't care.
No.
If you want.
It'd be pointless just for 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then so they finish like making the song and they play it for the people at home, and they're like, "Wow, that was awesome!" Blah blah blah. And then they get a knock on the door, and it's some like random dude. And
That the dad thinks is a health inspector.
Yep. They're like, Are you from the EU? Are you a health inspector?" The guy's like, "No, I'm here to buy some meat." And he
Reindeer blood.
Oh, reindeer blood.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Reindeer blood, and they bring him to where the butcher area is, and he's like, "Watch out for this. It's really sharp." And the dad holds up his like bloody hand and shit.
He's missing his middle finger, ring finger, and thumb.
Oh.
As we see later, because as they're leaving, he tries to hold up the metal horns, and it's just these 2 fingers.
Oh. Nice.
Because he's trying to do this, but instead it's just those 2 fingers.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I was probably writing something down. Anyways, so they look at the card, and what happens is blood gets spilled on the guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Ah, crap!" And then before he entered,
Very metal, by the way.
He gave them their card, and they thought it was an inspector card, but then they looked at it again as he was like pissed off, like leaving. The drummer sees it and he's just like, "Shit, we just made a demo tape. We need to give this guy our demo tape." And they're like, "Well, why?" "Oh, because." And then so he chases up to him. He's like, "Here, play our music for the demo tape." They're like,
Well,
who was that guy?"
First, he runs up, chases after it, and when Frank, who's the metal or
The festival.
the festival owner, or not owner, but
Showrunner or whatever, I think.
I think he's like the promoter. I think that's what they described him as.
Okay.
And he runs up yelling. Frank slams on the brakes, and Jinky goes flying into the bed of the truck.
Yep, and it's funny watching him because it's like fat people watching falling down. It's just you can't get enough of it. But I was actually surprised at his athleticism, being able to trace down that car. He was because he's a chunky fella, and he doesn't look like he runs at all, and he was able to catch up to the car, and I was like, wow, okay, you go, man. Anyways, yeah, so they give him the demo tape, and they're like, "Who the hell was that guy?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, that was the guy who does this giant
Northern
metal festival in Norway."
Northern Damnation Festival, which is I believe is an actual festival.
Alright, and so give him the tape, and then uh, Turi or Turo sees the girl
Mia,
and again, and also sees the douchebag guy, the other musician,
Joni.
and they're the douchebag, and they're talking, and he's like, "Hey, I got a gig," and she's like, "Oh, that's awesome," and he's like, "Do you want to come?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'll be there, cool," and then it looks like the two of them are going on a date or something like that, or the douchebag musician guy, Joni. They're about to go on a date, and yeah, and so then, yep, they got the gig at the festival, and then there's like a group of bullies that keep like making fun of Turo,
Yep.
and at this point, when they, you know,
Word starts spreading around.
about the gig, yep, and they're all of a sudden they're like nice to him. They like give him a beer, and they're like, "Oh, you, uh, congratulations! Like we're total douchebags or being dicks or whatever."
It's
They don't
basically
really.
the small town, typical small town reaction. Like, just
Yeah.
they're happy that so somebody in their town is finally making something of themselves. Just happy for them.
Yep.
Actually doing something noteworthy.
Exactly. And then Churro is at work again, and he's talking to his boss, and she's like, "Oh, now you're this big musician guy. Hey, do you have time to like change the linens for this patient?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll do it. Whatever." And he goes into this guy's room, and she's like, "Oh yeah, don't like freak him out or anything."
No, first of all, he wasn't even supposed to go in. He was just supposed to put it in through the window.
Oh, all right.
Because there's a drop box that goes in to the room on the door. That's what
Yeah.
he's supposed to do.
Yeah, but then he opens it, and then he goes in, and he's like, "Hey, you're not gonna freak out if I come in, right?" And he's like, "No, I won't." Anyways, okay, so he goes in, and he goes to shake the guy's hand, and he freaks out, and he starts like punching him, and he then instead of the patient getting pepper sprayed in the face, it was Churro that gets a pepper sprayed in the face, which is freaking fantastic. And she's like, and after it's all done, she's like, "Dude, you can't shake hands with the dude. He freaks out every time."
But he calms him by putting headphones on him and playing metal.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Which they're all shocked that it actually worked. Good thing it wasn't country.
As will mention, as will come up soon.
Yep, it will. Let's see. Oh, then they're at the
And
local.
this guy's name is Ola
Yep, he's an insane person at an
from
insane asylum.
Lapland, Finland.
Oh, cool.
Because they mention it a few times.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Um, anyways, then they go to the local like bar area, and um, they all go there, and the whole town is there, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's them," because the words got spread around,
At
and
first,
the mayor gave them like a pennant gift or something like that. What happened first?
because first of all, it's Johnny and his band are on stage,
Yeah.
and it's basically shitty country music.
Yeah, that's what he plays. He plays shitty country music and gets pussy, I guess.
And
At least that's what he claims.
he kind of reminds me of I can't think of his name from Simpsons. Homer's neighbor.
Ned Flanders?
Yeah. Kind just the music and his look kind of reminded me of him. Because there is an actual metal band that's just called the Flanders. It's an actual metal band.
Do they like Ned Flanders or something?
Yeah, they dress up just like him in concert.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't think they're called the Flanders, but
Oakley Dokley.
yeah, I think that's the name of the band, Oakley Dokley.
Oh, does it?
I think so.
That's fun. Anyways, after that, the mayor is just like, "Oh my God, this is such a great thing," and blah blah blah.
Yeah, Oakley Dokley. There they are.
Jesus Christ! Oh God, fucking Christ! Editor, just be glad you're not seeing this. It's
There they are.
it's terrifying. It makes me wanna, go on and become an insane person and go around serial.
For those watching, if you want to see what we're looking at, look up Oakley Dokley. The band.
Or you could just post it here. That was for the editor. Post it there if you want. It's up to you. Anyways.
Normally I have my internet page up, but I've been having issues with that lately.
And then, they get the pennant, and then the girl suggests that they open for the douchebags set on Saturday or whatever. And the douchebag is like, "Oh, okay, that's a great idea. Yes, absolutely. Alrighty then. Let's do it." He says it through gritted teeth, basically. And so then they're like, "Oh, we're going to this gig, so we have to buy a van." And so they ask the douchebag guy, how much is it for a van? And so they have like $200 or whatever, and he's like, "That's only enough for like a bag of corn and gonorrhea. That's not enough for a new van." And they have like this crappy, super tiny car. They're like, "What if we trade in our car for it?" And he's like, "Okay." And he gives them like
an extra 85 euros.
Pretty much. And it's enough for what is known as the death van. It is ran over like 8 reindeer, been in X amount of car accidents, killed its owners X amount of times, all this stark stuff, and he's like, "This is the death van." And they're all like, "Yeah, we love it. It's awesome.
That's
it's
a
great."
metal name for a car.
Exactly. And then, what was his name?
Turo.
Toru?
Turo.
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 Turo. Oh, with a U. Turo, is
Churro, but with a T.
Okay. Turo, is at work again, and he notices the patient that attacked him is now playing drums with his own headphones.
I think he provided him with it.
Oh yeah, he definitely loaned it to him just to calm him down. Let's see, where was I?
Then he goes in to talk to
It's
him.
like, okay, cool, he's playing drums. That's awesome.
And we get a story about what was it?
An African people.
African tribe that are ballsy enough to go up to lions as they're eating and steal their food.
Yep, and that's how they become men. And that's how we do it here in the States. That's right. We're tough that way. Super tough.
And Turo goes, "Wait, you did that?" And he's like, "No, I just watched it on National Geographic."
Yeah. And he brings up that metaphor because he says he's terrified to go on stage with like all these people watching and stuff like that.
And
But
to face your lions is
yeah,
what he tells you.
face the lions. And so of course, they immediately go to the zoo, and they're like looking. And he's like, I want to look at these different animals for motivation. So they look at a bear and they look at a wolf, and then he sees a wolverine. He's just like, perfect. So he jumps in there, and the drummer's with him, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, it's what? Why are you going in there?" He's like, I gotta face my lions." He's like, "That's not a lion. That's a wolverine." So he jumps in the wolverine and he goes slowly in to grab the meat of the wolverine, and it's like staring at him. So he picks up. He's like, "Hey, I got it!" And then the wolverine starts to attack him, and it goes to a very funny bit where it's obviously a fake wolverine. I mean, it looks totally real, and he's just like punching it and just like swinging it around and just like tossing it and shit. So he's able to get out of there, and he faces his
lion person.
and that gives him the courage to ask the girl out, the flower girl, or not a flower, not a flower girl, but the girl who sells flowers. Yeah, Mia with 2 eyes. Anyways, then they come up with their band name,
Impaled Rectum.
Impaled Rectum, and which is a pretty great name. I think someone's like making fun of them. I can't remember who it was. They're like, what are you doing? Sticking your, I think it was Joni who said that. He was like, go stick a dick up your butt or something, into your rectum or something like that. And the bassist is like, impaled rectum.
Or actually it goes impaled ass.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the rectum, Jazzy comes up with.
Got it. And then, so then they go play they're about to play the gig.
They do the promo shot first.
Oh, the promo shot?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Because at one point we forgot to mention, they noticed that there's a camera, like a traffic camera that takes pictures that they can turn.
And so then they use the van. They're like, hey, if we time it at the right moment, they can get a shot of someone driving the van and the other band members.
But before all that, we get to see Pazzi dressed in his metal uniform that we see him in for the rest of the movie.
Yes, he looks like a rejected Kiss member.
And he always looks really sad.
Yeah. And
so we get his new name, Zytrax.
Yeah, it's like Xanax, but not. And so this is where they have where they open for the Joni guy, or the douchebag guy, and they're about to go on stage, and he gets a call, or Turo gets a call
in the bathroom.
Yeah, by himself, alone in the bathroom, that they don't have any room for him, even though the demo is really good, and he's just like,
try again next year, basically.
Yeah, don't give up. And he doesn't tell the guys, and then he goes on stage, and they start playing, and he's about to sing, but instead of singing, he pukes all over the mayor, which is pretty great.
But we forgot to mention, he wasn't alone in the bathroom. Joni was in there.
Yeah, and he had a big grin on his face. He's just like, ooh, this is gonna be good. And so after he vomits on the mayor, he's just like, oh hey, yeah, this. Oh, you don't have any gigs after this, I bet. And then he's.
Or your next gig will probably be much better.
Was that what he says?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's just being a douche about it
Yeah.
because he knows. And then, oh right, then because then the leader's like, there is no gig, there is no gig, there never was. And all the other band members are like, what? There's no gig? Oh, that's stupid. Oh, what? You lied to us the whole time? And then, like, one of them, like, I think he wants to quit or something like that. He's all pissed off. And so the drummer is just like, hey, man, you can't give up. We gotta.
Face our lines.
Yeah, we gotta face our lion, pretty much. So there's no gig, and then they lose the van.
Yeah, Jinky loses his van.
Because they were like speeding.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
When they're trying to take the promo shot.
Yeah.
Which is a very dumb idea.
And then they asked the police officer for the photo. Can we have the photo? He's like, no, you can't have the photo. Fuck you.
It's the police's now.
Yeah. And then Turo is like walking away, I think, from like the house or whatever.
Yep.
And the drummer like catches up to him. He's like, hey, I'm gonna go to Norway no matter what, and you better like come with me. Even if you don't come, I'm still gonna go and I'm gonna play. And he gives him like some inspiration. And then this is when we go to the douchebag in his van, and he's cheating on the girl,
yep.
on Mia, the flower girl, with 2 eyes. Okay, I'll stop. And she catches him, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you're a fucking asshole. Okay, bye." And he just continues like to bang this old woman that was, I forget, like I think she was at one of her gigs or something like that. She was like in the front row or something. Yeah. And so the drummer, he's just like he's talking to Turo, and he's just like, Turo's like, we don't have a van anymore. How are we supposed to get to Norway? He's like, don't worry about it. I know how to do it. And so he basically breaks into the police headquarters, and he finds the keys, and on the back wall he finds the photo, and he's looking at it, and he's like, whoa, this is awesome. But they don't show it yet, of course. And then the drummer, he's driving around in the van and stuff like that, and he goes up,
comes upon the traffic camera.
Yeah, he just wants to say like "fuck you" to the police and just drive past it really fast.
80 miles per hour.
Oh, kilometers, sir. That's very different. That's like, it's got to be like 55, 60. It's a van. It's not gonna go that fast. Actually, I don't know the conversion rate, but he got up to 80 kilometers an hour. Anyways, yeah, unfortunately, he doesn't notice the reindeer on the road, and so he swerves off and crashes, and the next scene we learn that he's dead.
Because actually, he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So when he crashes, you actually see kind of a puff of like dust near the front of the car, so he went flying.
I did not see that at all. I was trying to write some notes down. I was just like, oh, he's dead. Okay. So he dies, and they're at the funeral, and they're like, oh, here's your drumsticks. And then the next guy's like,
Which
oh,
I
here's your
forgot
favorite
one
sandwich.
of the funniest ones about their first gig. The drummer for pyrotechnics.
He's like painting. Yeah, in the backstage, he's like painting something on a stick. They're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Pyrotechnics."
I think he's coating it with like oil.
Yeah.
Or gasoline, because then he lights the drumsticks on fire.
Yeah, and so they start playing. They're like, "It's on fire." They're like, "Yeah," and then after he vomits and everybody's like freaking out that they stop playing,
and he
his sticks are still on fire, but now his like jacket's on fire. He's just like running out. He's like, oh no. Um, so then he dies, and then the bassist says a poem.
Written by Dio, Ronnie Ronnie Dio. Forget his. It's a metal singer.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. I'm really bad with poetry. By the way.
And the guitarist also throws in a sandwich.
Mhm.
The very one that he was choking on at the beginning of the movie, I assume.
No, it's a particular sandwich that
Yeah,
he's got.
it was probably this. No, not the same specific one. Probably the same type. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's his special.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
that's what I'm.
Um,
What's that?
um, and so then Turo was like, "Fuck this shit. We're going to fucking Norway. Let's fucking go." And so he like mediocrely walks up to the douchebags.
Well, first he gets a pep talk from Mia,
Oh yeah, because he's gonna quit. That's right.
and she gives him their promo shot.
Yeah, he's like, "This is your picture," and she's like, "You inspired me to go to college or whatever," and and now
Turo
you're quitting.
looks
Blah blah
very
blah.
satanic in it.
It's a
Zych
very epic.
Zytrax still looks really sad.
Yeah, yeah, he does.
But also brutal.
Mhm. Exactly. Let's see. So so then Turo's like, all right, fuck it, we're gonna go to fucking Norway, and so he walks um, up to the douchebag's van, Joni's van, and he's like, hey, are your keys still in the car? And the guy and he's like, yeah, they're still in the car. And he's like, okay. And he walks up and he just turns on the van and drives away. He's like, hey, you stole my van, blah blah blah. And so they go and then they go and dig up the dead drummer.
Jinky.
Yeah, the and with the stolen van, and as they're driving away, they pick up uh, the guy from the insane asylum.
Or they first pick up all the other members. Zytrax
Yeah,
in the library where that mom and kid come back.
and they're like, you're like, this sounded like a dead cat being slaughtered. He's like, no,
Dead cow.
no, they dead cow.
Yeah.
They're like, it sounded like a dead cow being slaughtered. He's like, no, that wasn't a cow. That was a goat.
And he's still in makeup.
Yeah, the whole time's in makeup.
And then we see Latvonen.
The insane asylum guy.
No, Latvonen, the the guitarist.
Oh, but they pick him up.
And that's where we get to see that his dad's also a metalhead. Because we see him raise the horns.
Oh, nice.
Without the actual horns, because he only has his index and pinky finger left.
Yep. He just has these ones. And then yep. So they're all like escaping. They pick up the guy from the insane asylum because they need a drummer. And
throwing him out the window.
Yeah, pretty much. I think they got a rope or something like that. So they're all in the van and they're like traveling, and then he must have gotten knocked out or something like that.
No, he was already asleep.
Oh, he was asleep. Okay.
That's why they had to.
That's why they threw him out the window. Got it. He was fine. So then they're traveling in this van as fast as they can, and then the insane asylum guy, or the new drummer, I guess, he wakes up and he starts freaking out because he's what?
Ola is his name.
Ola, and he starts freaking out because you can't freak this guy out, and Turo, he's like, play our demo tape.
And they put on Joni's music.
Yeah, and he starts screaming, like uncontrollably screaming. He stops punching them, but he starts screaming instead. But then he starts playing the metal music, and he calms down. And he's like, "Oh," and he's like, "Hey, it's me, it's Turo. Uh, Calm down, you motherfucker." And so then they start practicing, putting him on drums and having him practice with them. Um, and as they're traveling to Norway, they have to go through Finland, and
No, Sweden.
as they're traveling,
They're from
there,
Finland. They have to go through Sweden.
oh, they have to go through Sweden. My bad. Um, let's see. So there's okay, my bad. Um, so the so the dad has the girl in the car, and
Joni.
Joni's in the car, and he's like, "Hey, I need you to stop this van. Yeah, they're they're Satanists, and they're traveling into your
No,
country."
he calls the military, the Swedish.
The border guard
Yeah.
or whatever. He's like, "Yeah, there's these Satanists traveling into your country. You need to stop them." And he's just like, "Yeah, that's not a real threat. Let me know if there's actual an actual real threat, sir." And he's like,
Like
"Oh,
terrorists.
he's like, "Yeah, they're terrorists." He's like, "What? They're terrorists? Okay, I'll call the higher ups." So he goes up to his colonel, and he's like, "Hey, colonel, there's apparently some like terrorists coming in this country." She's like, "Yes, finally!" And she pulls out this like rocket launcher. She calls
It's
it.
like a missile launcher because there's 4 of them.
Yep. Or did I say grenade launcher?
You said rocket.
Rocket launcher. Yeah, rocket launcher. Missile launcher, rocket launcher. I think those are the same kind of.
No, but
What's the difference?
I don't know. But I'm pretty sure they aren't.
Okay. Anyways, it was called Angelo. I mean, if you wanna like leave a comment down in the bottom, if you got this far, you wanna leave a comment and tell us what the fuck that is, that would be cool. Anyways, Angelo is the name of the gun, and there's this they get the word, oh, there's these terrorists. Yeah, they strapped a coffin to their van, and they're Satanists or whatever, and they're coming into the country. And she's like, finally, and then she gathers the troops, and they're all these like old men
Little
and
kid.
boys, and they're like, you are the best of the best, and we need to stop these guys. This is what we live for our entire lives. She's just happy to go gung ho and use her Angelo. But also this other van.
There's a bachelor party.
It's a bachelor party, exactly, and
Of
they have
people dressed as
it's the Jesus
the
and the
apostles.
disciples. Jesus and the disciples theme for their bachelor party. It was like, this is the best idea for a bachelor party.
They even have a bandolier full of liquor.
Yeah. And then it's a scene with all the military people, and they have a gun safety scene, and they all go into the what's the ammo place called?
Armory.
Armory. Thank you. Um, and there's all these like huge ass weapons, and they're all like, yeah, grab your guns, everyone, and everybody has like a giant gun, and it's obvious that none of them know how to use any of it. And one of the guys, they're like, remember gun safety, and one of the guys just like pulls the trigger on a grenade launcher, and it goes up in the air. They're like, grenade, and they all start
Falls right
scattering.
on the armory.
There's this huge explosion, and
that's what causes Turo to stop.
Yep. So Turo's driving the car, and he sees this explosion. He's like, "Oh!" So they stop the car, but the car behind them is the Jesus and the disciples, and they keep going. And of course, they're the ones. So they look through the binoculars. They're like, they see these people in towels and stuff like that, and they have the bandoliers, and they're all going, "Oh!" because they're listening to music and they're all drunk and shit. And they're like, it's a terrorist. And so she uses Angelo. She's like, oh, you can't fire at them. He's like, it's a warning shot, don't worry. She fires and misses. She's like, crap. All right.
Goes right past him.
She was like, okay, it's a warning shot, all right? Warning shot, cool. And so she does the other one, and it flips the van over. And they're like, arrest them, and she sends like the old men and boys to go get them, and they're like kind of beating them up and shit. As the other van passes them, and they're like, man,
they're
I'm
just
so
like, keep going, keep going.
yeah, and then they're like, man, I'm so glad that they're patrolling our borders like this. Um,
Because I don't think they realized they weren't terrorists.
yeah, well, none of them were terrorists.
No, I think Turo and them thought the Jesus people were terrorists.
They probably were. They probably did. And so that was a fun scene. And then the police or the dad comes in his police car and he's like, who? Why the hell did you arrest them? That's the wrong van. That's the wrong vehicle. She's like, what the hell are you talking about? We got him. Jeez. So then, um, a little bit later, they're like, oh, we gotta all go follow them. And so it's a police car with all their military people that are following them. And the churro gets there. They get to this hill, and there's a tractor in the way, and he stops. They're like, how are we gonna get around this? And then the brake fails, so they start going backwards, and they kind of go off meander off a cliff a little bit, and they're between a rock and a hard place at this point because the police officer and everyone else and the military people catch up to them. They're like, you need to surrender. We need to interrogate you, and they're like, crap. This isn't looking good. And the guitarist he kicks the van, and then the coffin goes off the cliff and it falls, and the lead singer Turo is just like, well, fuck it, let's just jump off of it, let's join them. And so they all jump off, and they land in the water, and then they land on a place where there's three.
At first, Ola goes, and yet I'm the one that's supposed to be the insane asylum.
Yep. He's the, and they say I'm the crazy one. And then they wash up on shore, and the bass player, I forget his name.
Well, first they see people on crosses.
Yep. But the bass player still has his he still has his makeup on. He still has his makeup on the whole time. Anyways, so they jump off, and then they land. They see people being crucified, and a whole bunch of people in like Vikings costumes are out there, and they're like,
are we in Asgard or Valhalla?
yeah. And so they're like, and one of the guys comes out and he's cosplaying as Legolas from Lord of the Rings, and he's just like, wait, who are these people? He's like, and they're like, who are you guys? Oh, we're LARPers. We're just out here just LARPing around. You guys want to play with us? And they're like, no, we have to get to this festival. They're like, oh, I think we can give you a ride. So they're on this like Viking ship or whatever, randomly, and the people that are being crucified are like, hey, this is stupid up here. Someone else has to play the crucified people next time. So they're able to make it to the festival, and they land on the shore, and they see the promotionist guy for the festival, and they're like, hey, can we please play for your band? We'll play just one song, maybe even in the parking lot.
And then Frank just starts listing off all the transgressions.
Yeah, he's like, you guys are on the news, you guys dug up your friend and came here and
broke out of the guy from the insane asylum, almost started a war.
Yeah, and that's pretty metal, so they let him play, and that was cool. And then he kisses, Turo kisses the girl.
After multiple attempts being interrupted by Frank.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm gonna go listen to this band. I'm gonna listen to them play before you fucking do anything. So fuck off. And so they kiss each other, and yeah, it gets interrupted like 3 times. They kiss, and then they're about to go on stage, and they start playing the song. They're like all ready, like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. And he pukes again at the exact same spot on these like 3 people.
Mainly on just one guy though.
Mainly one guy, but You know, it's collateral damage. Um, and so they all get vomit on. They're just staring like blankly, like what's happening, and he just doesn't know what to do, and
Then he
um,
decides to face his lion.
and then he just starts growling or whatever.
Or he faces his lion also when he kisses Mia.
Yep. And line number 3 would be him just starting to play, and they start playing the song, and the people who got vomited on are like, yes!
Because
As
if
they're
you're a
playing this awesome
metalhead,
song.
being vomited on, vomited on is probably one of the most metal things that could happen in a concert.
Yep. It would be even more metal if it was acid vomit, and his face was melting off. He would have been like, ugh. And at the end of the song, they get arrested, and that's basically ends there.
We also find out Mia's dad is a closet metalhead.
No, I don't think he's a metalhead. I think he's just trying to. She's trying to get it. He's like, that's my future, because he says that's my future son-in-law. Like that person's with my daughter.
I have a
like,
feeling in the sequel we'll find him a metalhead.
Like metal, because she was with the musician at first, right? They're the Joni guy. He's like, that's my future son-in-law, and he notices that this guy who he thinks is a loser now can play and excite people. So now he's just like, that's my future son-in-law. He's just like, who's successful? Who's good for my daughter?
One of the cops was trying to turn off the sound or turn off the music, and he just stops him.
Yeah. He's better than Joni.
And then we see them get arrested and Turl goes through like how everybody's feeling and basically says Olo's probably having the best time of his life.
What was he doing?
Because he was just sitting there laughing as he was being pulled away.
Oh, right, as they're being arrested. He got to get out for a few hours. That was cool.
That was the movie. Since I'm metalhead and this is my second time viewing, I give it a 5. Because it's like a really good movie for metalheads.
I gave it like a 4.5. Like it was good. It wasn't like it blew me away or anything. It was just like for like a comedy movie. It's a solid 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's something that's very entertaining. There's some parts that were kind of lacking, it seemed, but very few. But yeah, 4.5 out of 5. So that's a review.
And we will be back in October for the sequel.
Plus, having to read the subtitles was like weird.
Because just last week they released the trailer for Heavier Trip. And I'm really looking forward to it because this one, just on the trailer, they're actually going to show actual metal bands, like Baby Metal's in the trailer, and that's the only one I can remember.
Yeah, and they call it Heavier Trip because this time they're on one of the moons of Jupiter.
This time, I believe they go to Walken instead of
they were
Northern.
walking in space.
Which, if
Jupiter.
you're a metalhead, that's probably on your bucket list to go at some point. One of the world's biggest metal festivals of the year. I know it's on mine.
Oh, it's totally on mine too. Yeah, totally. Yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my god. 9.
That was our review. Once again, I gave it 5 out of 5. He gives it 4.5 out of 5. Please join us Tuesday for our start of One Piece and Pokemon D&D.
God damn it.
Where they get to see what happened, what Team Rocket did.
Yeah, we'll find out. Did they destroy the moon? We don't know. We'll find out. Alright, cool. Well, that was our review. So I'm Skeeter, and that is.
Derp derp.
Thanks for watching.
And please like, subscribe, comment. We did reach our first goal. Keep liking so we can continue with it. And also with the comment, I haven't counted our comments, but that is also a goal to watch Case Closed.
Yeah, so. Alright, we got to 1,000 likes, but,
Let's get to 1,000 comments now.
yeah, let's do 1,000 comments, but not 2,000 likes, because that
If-
means
if
we
you-
have to watch another season.
Because of the person that's been commenting, if you get to this point, say yeet in comments.
Yeah, that's the secret word, yeet.
Bye.
Oh yeah, bye.